Yes, I guess I should say Donnie the Tree Lady with Don's Tree Service.
Yeah.
So, welcome to Tree Talk with Donnie and Megan. But I think it's just Tree Talk. I think we've narrowed it down just to Tree Talk. But
Starting to bring in
we're
other
bringing
people
it
at this
in.
point.
Exactly. But we don't just talk about trees, we talk about life, leadership, trees, tree work, how we do what we
Family.
do, family, faith, fun, all those fun things.
Yeah.
Megan, what are we talking about
Well, I wanted to hope that all of you guys enjoyed your Juneteenth and were able to celebrate it and able to think about the actual meaning of it and how important it is to recognize like where we came from as a country. And especially as a tree service owned by a black woman, I think it's incredible that before couldn't do that.
And now we can. You
Now
know
we
why?
can.
Because we've made progress. And that's the thing that we
Exactly.
should celebrate. You know, I always tell people we can't live in the past. We have to live in the present and plan for the future and just be thankful for what we've been blessed with. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes it can start off a little rough, but it can end up to be a beautiful story. And I think that's what we want to celebrate is the beautiful side of things in life. So yeah.
Yeah, and we keep growing
That's
every
right.
day.
Every day, every day. Now, I know you wanted to talk about something that happened to you the other day with one of our
Yes.
customers. So we're switching the trees real quick.
Yes. So I was at an estimate the other day and just doing an inspection after I had gone over for an emergency. This pecan tree just split in three and hit all three neighbors. So while I was there, I wanted to check out if there were any other trees that were looking like suspicious or looked like they were dying so that with the other storms that are coming, though that client will know what to look for and what they possibly need to get removed or just trimmed back away from their house. So while I'm walking around, I smell this very, very distinct smell of beer. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm outside, like, I don't drink, like, why, like, what's going on? And I look down at the base of this huge white oak, and on several different areas at the base of the tree, there was this, like, kind of like brown, grayish ooze, not the prettiest thing you've ever seen, coming out of the base of the tree. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Pat. Time pass. And while I was looking at it, it was starting to bubble, like literally fizzing. And what this actually comes from is the tree fermenting. And it's the sugars and the sap that like the fungus is eating. So it creates this like
Bacteria, but go ahead.
yeah, bacteria. And when the bacteria eat all the sugar and the sap, it creates fermentation. And that's why the base of your trees can sometimes smell like beer. And if they do, that's not a good sign at all.
Not a good sign at all.
Yeah. So, along with the smell of beer in those patches, where it was also really soft because of the moisture coming from there were also mushrooms all over the base of this tree. And I was like, oh, she's got to go. And the tree was actually really, really close to the house. So, we're planning on removing it eventually because it had mushrooms at the base, smelled like beer. There was some dieback at the top of the canopy. So it's really important to go outside and just check on your trees. Sometimes they're perfectly fine, you can enjoy them. But if you're out and you can actually pretty regularly just take a look at them, see what they're up to, it can make a huge difference. Because if we didn't go out there and take a look at this tree, it would have been another surprise for this client who already has had a tree fall from a storm and hit not only their house, but also both of their neighbors' house. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Thank you, Khalid. Hi, Pixel. And that was just something I wanted to share with you guys today. So it's not something a whole lot of people know about, but it is very important to just check for the smell of beer because it's very distinct.
Yeah. Now, if there's the smell of beer because your uncle was drinking up under your
That's
tree,
a different story.
That's a
Especially
different story.
after Juneteenth, you know. If you see a can next to it, then you're dealing
Different
with
story, different story. But you know, the other thing is just knowing these things. And a lot of times, if you don't grow up in the tree care industry, if you don't grow up knowing these things, or you didn't have a mom or a dad that told you how to take care of your trees, or maybe just for whatever reason you didn't know. A lot of times you can Google certain things. You can call a tree care company like ours, and hopefully us, of course. You call us and we can answer those questions. Because a lot of times you could just be curious. Sometimes we've had people call us and they are assuming because they saw a couple of dead limbs in their trees that they needed to remove the tree. And that is not always the case. A lot of times when you see a few dead limbs or some dead limbs in your trees, just could be an indicator that you just need to get those trees trimmed. And I always think of it like kind of like our hair.
Yeah.
Just because I have a few, I got a few grays now. But anyway, just because I have a few strands of hair.
Grays.
Thank you very much. Just because I have a few grays, just because I have a few hairs that fall out, that doesn't mean that I'm going bald, It might mean, that I'm just naturally shedding. And I think trees actually kind of do the same thing in a way, even though they're a tree, where you might see a couple of dead limbs, but it just means that in that particular branch, there's a dead limb. And you just get it taken out, make sure they do proper cuts, and voila, you have a happy, healthy tree. Now, if you start to see a lot of dead limbs,
then it's more of a problem.
Then it's a problem.
Also, where the dead limbs are can make a big difference.
Yeah.
Because if you imagine a tree, right, like this is a tree, and this is the top of the canopy.
And
right?
this is your tree on drugs.
Here, let
No, I'm
me
just kidding.
let me go sideways so you can sort of see the difference. So pretend this is a tree, not the prettiest tree. It's my hand. But if you have a lot of dead wood coming back from like all of these branches, and it looks like the tree is almost like going into itself, that's actually what we call dieback.
Yeah.
And what that means is that there's some kind of like disease, something going on with the tree to where it's having to pull resources closer in. So the leaves aren't going all the way out to the ends of the branches. And that's a bit of a problem. Whereas if you have all these limbs, right? These are the big main limbs. And if you have like a little limb down here that's dead, that's perfectly normal, because if you have these big limbs that are shading some of the little limbs lower down, and these little limbs die, it's just because they're not getting sun. Mm-hmm. And trees are pretty smart, and they try to be efficient with their resources. If they have a limb that isn't really doing anything for them because it can't reach the sun, so you have the new growth growing over it. You see this a lot with water oaks. Mm-hmm. It's just gonna die. And it's like, okay, I don't need you. I got new growth that's gonna give me a lot more energy. So the other limbs, I'm not even gonna worry about. And it ends up just killing them off. I don't need you.
There you go.
Yeah. So
That's what it's saying.
If you see dead limbs like that, where there's smaller limbs just under bigger limbs and they're shading them out, that's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if it's a big lead and it has you often see orange fungus along it, that's a different story.
Yeah.
That's a bit more of a problem.
Awesome. And also, if you have questions, you can DM us right here or leave a message below, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. Even after this live is over, if you have a question about your trees, reach out to us. That's what we're here to do, And even if you're not in the Atlanta area, if we can help you, we'd love to help you. It's kind of like what we live to serve. In fact, our core values are love, respect, integrity, teamwork, discipline, consistency, and gratitude. And one of the ways we show our gratitude is just by being of service and being able to help people in whatever communities we're in or whatever communities we're serving. Or even if you're not in Atlanta, if we can help you, we'd love to help you. Yeah.
Yeah. And some very exciting news is we are actually working on something special for you guys to be able to give you resources to feel educated about your trees.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite things to do, because
absolutely.
I'm learning every single day. I grew up in the tree industry, but still, there are so many things to learn and so many things to be grateful for. So we are working on a little something special for you guys. So
to be announced.
Yeah, to be announced. So stay tuned, and we look forward to getting that out to you guys.
Absolutely. And thank you for checking out Tree Talk. Once again, we just like to jump on every Friday, 9 o'clock, just to have a little chat and let you know what's going on and, answer a few questions, or actually answer questions that we get throughout the week and tell you what's been going on. Is there anything else you want to share? Any insight?
Nah. I just hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy Friday. Oh, it's also my birthday.
Oh,
today.
yeah. Duh. It's her birthday.
It's my birthday.
Doesn't she's not a day over 30. No,
19,
I'm just kidding.
baby.
She's 19 years old today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but you know what's so cool about this? Even though she's my daughter, I will say this. If you're somebody that, maybe you want to go a non-traditional route, this girl went to one of the finest private schools in Atlanta. And, there was this trajectory that she was on. Like everybody, like literally everybody at her school goes to college. And
Thank you for the birthday wish. Thank you,
Aw,
Marquise.
that's so sweet. Thank you. That's celebrating my baby. But just kind of thinking outside the box, everybody at her school, and I do mean everybody, was going to college, and they're wearing a little college shirt. And I think college is incredible. In fact, my oldest daughter is in college, and I wholeheartedly supported her. So what I will say is this: if you're one of those young people or even an old person that's out there going, I feel like I want to go on a different path. You know what? Go on that path. It does not hurt to try, but always have a plan. Like when she came to me and said, "Hey, Mom, I think I want to go in a different direction. I want to start a small business," or is HVAC, the tree care industry, landscaping. I mean, there's so many great opportunities available in the trades where you can really make a great living for yourself, and you can actually build wealth for yourself, so you and your family. So just think outside the box. Don't be afraid to go on your own charted path, and have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why this is coming to mind, but I want to highlight something that often doesn't get a whole lot of love, and it's actually just getting your hands in the dirt this summer. We have so many incredible outdoor spaces in Atlanta, and some of the ones that don't get a whole lot of love are cemeteries. And as kind of weird as that sounds, we have these spaces where we can walk through, and at least for me, there's always been this sense of peace, especially at Oakland Cemetery, Eastview Cemetery, and it's not a sad thing to walk through a cemetery because it feels like you're connecting with the people who came before you. And the reason we are able to do that is because people take care of those cemeteries. All of the parks that we have, all the cemeteries we have, all of the outdoor spaces we have are kept up by people. And if you can, volunteer.
Yeah.
Go out and pick weeds and help clean up our spaces, because that's also a huge way of giving back to your community. Not only your living community, but also the community who created the space that you have right now.
Yeah.
So I think
Our national parks are great.
National parks. Just get outside and see how you can help, because often you find some really cool people, and there is such a fulfillment in serving and working with your hands. Get dirty. It's great.
I love that. Get dirty.
Get in the mud.
There you go. Well, that's all we have for today. We just wanted to once again jump on. Thank you for the love. We really appreciate it. And thank you for celebrating my baby's birthday. Thank you for the kind words once again. And we will see you next week for Tree Talk. Don't forget to give us those questions. Bye-bye.